So Geoffrey Moore, a famous author in the space of innovation, business, etc., wrote Crossing the Chasm, his bestseller, and recently released Zone to Win. And I assisted one of his webinar, a Stanford webinar actually, where he explains that today companies really need to split the organization in two and the strategy in two, having one side of the house doing disruptive innovation and the other piece focusing more on the execution of the business model. So what are your views on this? Are there any examples maybe of companies that you see do this and other companies maybe not do this? So what are your views on this general concept?
I think this is exactly right. And because of the mindset of the employees. So basically, when you look at a typical corporation, you have people who are the cogs in the machine who enjoy the 9-to-5 work, what I call salaryman type people, who they come in, the reason why they went to work for that bank or that hospital or whatever, because they want the 9-to-5 normal, 9-to-5, wake up in the morning, go to work, come home, sit down, watch TV, have a beer, whatever, and then have your weekends off. That's it. They want that kind of work. They don't want to think outside the box. They want to think inside the box. And then there's other kinds of people at your company who are the opposite. They want to come up with innovative new ideas. They want to do new and different and things and change the industry, make a dent in the universe, I think some people call it. And you've got both of those kinds of people working in the same organization. It's really difficult to sort of really get things moving because you've got people who are sort of holding things back and you have other people who are moving things forward. So you have sort of this dysfunctional team that's not really getting anywhere. So I think one of the things Geoffrey Moore says in his book is basically split that up and say, have your disruptors over here and have your cogs over here, and then let them do their thing, right? And I mean, I agree with that model. I would say that a lot of companies have tried to do that, but usually what they typically do is they have sort of like their normal set of people, and then they create an innovation lab over here, right? And they go, oh, let me throw some people over here and I'll hire some people out here, and we'll get this innovation lab do its thing. And the problem is that even that innovation lab is like a little satellite around this giant monster planet. And when this little tiny planet or tiny moon wants to put stuff back to the mothership, they go, oh, we do these things this way. We can't do things your way. So it eventually sort of goes, you know what, it will eventually absorb that back up again into the mothership, and then it's gone. So the innovation starts off, it looks great for a while, but then it goes away because there hasn't been that true commitment. I think one of the things he says in this book is like you split your company too. You have two equal weighted entities. So the disruption one has just as much power, and in some cases even more than this one, which is great. But I would almost argue that you need multiple zones. You need sort of like a super forward-thinking disruptive area here, which thinks about things that are like a 5-10 years out. Then you need maybe it's a mid-range one to think about new products and services that are working here. And then you need that sort of core business piece. And it might even be 3 or 5 different variations depending on the individuals within your company. Now, ideally, you want that innovation spread throughout the whole company. But like I said before, it's very difficult to get people who have that salaryman mindset to want to do something different. I mean, you can educate them, you can train them, and some of these people actually are, they do have an innovative bent in them, and you have to let that out. It's kind of like I was saying before about if you give people that innovation program and you let them express themselves and you let them get those ideas out there, then maybe they'll move more towards the I want to be on the entrepreneurial side, I want to be on that disruptive side. So you can slowly edge people over there, but it's got to be their own decision. It's got to be their own. So internally, mentally, they have to say to themselves, you know what, I know that's a little more work, but it's cool. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do that. And they move themselves to becoming more entrepreneurial. And so it's like being forced to becoming more entrepreneurial because, I've told you have to be more entrepreneurial, or, the company goes under and you have to go find your own business or get a job somewhere else. So yeah, I'm totally in line with that model.
Thanks, and that's a very good book too. From the first one, and Crossing the Chasm is still extremely, very relevant today, and Zone to Win is a very interesting concept indeed.